Hey everybody, and welcome back to Hex Token channel. Your host Superman in the house, and we're gonna have a good time talking about the stock market, which was very green today. So we're gonna have fun talking about that. We're gonna get into crypto, of course, the Hex ecosystem. We're talking about some of the cool projects built on top of Hex, of course, Icosa, Hedron, and of course, what's the other one? What's the other one? Maxi. That's it. Hey, good to see everybody in the house. Hope you guys are doing well. We're going to be checking out the new dashboard for Poly, which has been updated. So we're going to look at that. So if you've got Poly, there's a cool dashboard made by Dick Hatcher. We're going to get into that. Hex data stats as well. And we're also going to readdress the PulseChain TestNet V3 as well. When is it? When? And of course, when might we reasonably expect it? So we're going to talk a bit about that as well. Let me know your thoughts in the chat as always. Woohoo! We got there's a little bit of drama out there too, but as you know, there's not a drama channel, so I won't be talking about the drama today. But there is a little bit up there. Hey, we've got Lives Beneath in there. Hello, how are you today? Good to see you. And as well, the Maxi strategy, of course, Hex, EHEX, PLS, and PLSX for the win. That is right. Chance nicely is in the house there. Woohoo! Great to see you, Superman. Hey, it's always a pleasure, and great to see all the familiar faces in the chat as well. We got mixed in there as well. I love it with the popcorn. And Groot's in the house. Hey, Groot, good to see you with the rockets. Yeah, feel pretty cool. Yeah, it's Friday. All happy Friday, says Poso Dude. That is indeed the truth. Here, of course, in Australia, New Zealand, and places like that, it is Saturday. So, but it's Friday in the Northern Hemisphere. Let's have a look at what time it is. It's currently 12:30 p.m. as usual. Normal time I stream here on Saturday. And 19th of November, can you believe it? We are only 11 days, I think, away. 11 days away from summer. Yay, bring on summer. That's what I can say. Let's have a look who else. We've got Los Angeles is currently 3:30 in the afternoon on Friday. And of course, there'll be a lot of people still working there, I guess. We've got New York, though, it is 6:30. So I guess most people would have finished work then and starting their weekend, hanging out with the family and friends, having a few drinks, maybe a few shrimps around the barbie. 3 shrimps around the barbie. Anyway. Probably not, but maybe some of those big, was it steak grillers or something? They like Americans like the steak grills, I think it is. So cool. All right, so big welcome. Who else is in the house there? We got hashtag no drama channel says Lies Beneath. Yeah, that's right. You know it, Lies. You know it. Vindication Now says mix. Vindication Now. Oh, what's you talking about there, mix? Let me know what you mean. Get into Discord about that though, not on YouTube if it's about drama. Because we are a no drama channel. Wookie says, well, what a day in Hex, it says Wookie. Apparently, says Wookie. So we're going to talk about that too. I guess you're talking about the price chart. So we'll talk about that. Aussie Stone in house, cool. Caught you live. Woohoo! Hey, good to see Aussie. And great to have you in the chat as well. Your summer, my winter, lovely, says Peso Dude. Yeah, I mean, what goes around comes around kind of thing, doesn't it, Peso Dude, with the summer? So it's okay. And mix in there with all the foods. I like a pizza, tacos, beer, and more beer. I like that. That can't be too wrong there as well. All right, so cool. Let's get into it. We've got BC and the Matrix in the house as well. Good to see you, BC Matrix, as well. So if you guys haven't joined my new YouTube channel, it is The Bird is Freed, and it's around Twitter news and memes and Elon Musk and all that sort of stuff. So if you like that sort of thing, check out the community tab and go and subscribe. The more subscribers, the better. Building that channel up. I think there's 324 subscribers so far. Got to get to 1,000, of course. So get in there on that one. And I'll be posting a lot of short videos about stuff on Twitter live. So cool. I really got back on there since, obviously, I got asked to go back with the Hex Token channel. And so I was late to the piece in terms of getting on there amongst the Hex and PulseChain YouTubers. But with now that Elon's taken over, and if he pushes towards freedom, which I hope he really pushes and keeps pushing, he's up against a lot of resistance. You got to understand that he's up against a lot of resistance, not only from the White House, the Democrat Party, the advertisers, the progressive advertisers. He's up against a lot of pressure. So he will take us probably a slower path. And of course, today he managed to bring on a few people that had been blocked off that side. So hopefully we'll get that freedom back, and it'll be a place where the best ideas win, not just imposed on people, which we're looking forward to that. All right, so cool. Vets and Crypto says, love your new The Bird is Free Twitter handle. This will be great for mass adoption towards non-coiners. Yeah, I like that, Vets and Crypto. That's a nice angle for sure. All right, so cool. Let's get into it. And welcome. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, hit the bell we're going to get into a lot of details, so make sure I get rid of that comment there. We got stock market today. Dow SideSteps tough Fed talk, speak, I should say, to close higher. And hey, look, the Fed is some of the Fed presidents are speaking pretty hawkishly. I think we need to be a little bit more, expect a little bit stronger interest rate rises. Honestly, we will see what December holds for us, but I think we're thinking that we're toning down to 50 basis points, but we may very well get a 75 basis points in there. Brace yourself for that, because that's a little bit more aggressive. So we're going to revisit that. We've got the Dow Jones, the top 30 industrials, up 0.6%. They're up 200 points to 33,745. This is still holding up pretty well. If you look at the 5-year chart, we can see that we peaked out up here at the end of December 21. So the end of last year, we peaked up there at about 36,338. We're still holding up fairly well. Almost a year later, 11 months later, at 33,745. So we have not really had any. It's definitely a pullback, but we haven't really had any major tanking of the stock market yet. I think we need to be very cautious about where this is going to head, because typically when it reaches that top, it's going to go down much further. So that's where I think it's going to be heading. So just be cautious about that. The S&P 500 is up 0.5%, 18 points to 3,965, and the Nasdaq is up 1 point there to 11,146 with all the tech companies in there. That's holding as well. The volatility index is down 3.4%, so risk on for the day. And the dollar index is up against trading partners, up 0.27 to 106.86 against the trading partners. The commodities, let's have a look at that. We got down 2.25% on the Brent oil, down $2 to $87.76. And of course, down $1.87, 1.9%, or $1.53 down to $80 in West Texas. So that's a nice little pullback there. We can see on the 5-yearly chart. Let's go to yearly chart for these ones. We can see that we sort of peaked up here in June, $121. We got a little bit of spike here in March of this year, and we're definitely down from there, which is a nice little reprieve. That will definitely be helping headline inflation come down. If we can keep lower prices. Still relatively high in absolute terms, but good to see it easing off there a little bit there. Gold is down $11 or 0.6% to $17.52, and silver is almost flat, not quite, at $20.97. That's pretty much it where the commodities are. Let's get into the commentary. We got nice green. We like green, not red, right? So the Dow closed higher Friday as investors weighed up further hawkish remarks from Federal Reserve officials and the latest wave of quarterly results from retailers. So there we are. That's not too bad. Boston Federal. So this is where it gets a little bit concerning. Remember yesterday we already had another Fed president talking about, he's quite aggressive one though, aggressive hikes. So this is another one here. Boston Federal Reserve President Susan Collins said all possible increments of rates hikes were on the table for the Fed's December meeting, including a 75 basis point rate hike. The comments echoed similar remarks from Fed members who this week have insisted that further monetary tightening is needed to quell inflation. So we had a little bit of mixed signals coming out from the hawks and the doves out of these presents. Treasury yields have continued to strengthen against the backdrop of hawkish remarks from Fed members pressuring growth sectors of the market like tech and consumer discretionary. Big tech traded mixed today, with Alphabet, Microsoft ending the day in the red, while Apple and Meta platforms closed less than 1% higher. Amazon.com, meanwhile, fell nearly 1% as the e-commerce giant confirmed job cuts would continue into next year amid a challenging economy. And that's what we're expecting next year, right? So, 90% so chance of moving into recession. That's what we're expecting. And, of course, the higher the interest rates the Fed makes it, the longer they keep them, the harder that recession might be. So that's the real concern. And, of course, that will flow into market capital, financial markets like stocks and, of course, crypto. Meanwhile, Amazon.com, I read that already. So energy capped gains in the broader market as oil prices fell amid ongoing fears about weaker demand in China amid ongoing C-19 restrictions there. The fall in oil prices is due to concern about demand amid rising C cases in China, which make it unlikely the C restrictions will be relaxed anytime soon. And of course, the flurry of earnings from retailers meanwhile continue to show mixed performance. So you got mixed performance. You got a pullback in the NG, and you got mixed performance from the retailers. I'm not going to go through all the retailers there. You got Foot Locker, Gap, and a few others. So we've got looking at the shortened trading week ahead. The Fed minutes from its October meeting will garner investor attention for clues on the central bank's thinking on monetary policy. So we'll look forward to that as well. Remember, the final interest rate hike for the year is going to be the 14th of December. And of course, it looks potentially maybe the Hawks are going to win out there and we'll get another 75 basis points, which will mean they're still front loading that interest rate, federal rate hike. They'll take us to from 3.75 to 4% federal funds to 3.5 to 3.7. Sorry, 4.5 to 4.75% on the federal funds rate there, and they're not going to stop there from the looks of it. I said to you, I think they potentially could get as high as 5.25, but of course we've seen the other president yesterday talking about much higher than that, so up to 7%, which would be just crazy for the market. Honestly, it would be really bad for the markets, bad for the real economy, so these guys are crazy, man. They don't know what they're doing, and so we'll see how we get on. All right, so cool. We're going to jump over the crypto. BTC at the moment, 16,664. That's pretty flat at the moment. Still holding. We haven't had this big hammer yet. We're waiting for the hammer. We haven't had the big hammer yet. ETH is at 1,200, and we've got BNB at 273. We've got stable coins. USDC's back to peg. USD Tether still a little bit wobbly, and of course a lot of criticism around USD Tether. We'll see how that gets on. FTX and all that sort of stuff. Although we looked at that the other day. So what else we got going? Dodge at the moment, 8.4 cents. Nothing happening really there. We've got Solana there down 3% at $13.20. What else have we got in here? We've got talking about Dodge. We've got Matic, pretty even at 87 cents. We got any standouts here? Just having a look. None really. We've got Crow over here. Is up 3% to 7.1, almost 7.2 cents. That is pretty much it for crypto.com. Obviously under challenge for its proof of reserves, and the CEO did this big online space there to give, calm down investors, to stop the run on the banks. But they're all trying to stop the run on the banks, right? Kraken came out as well, said that they're all good. So there we are. They're trying to stop the ranks. It really depends on how much they're leveraging their balance sheet with their depositors' funds. So it really depends on how much they have exposure to FTX. Those are kind of the two main things which really determine whether they're shaky or not. All right, so we did see, FB Sam Bankman-Fried in his commentary. If you watched last night, I did a whole walk through all of his interviews and his updates, so you can check that out on the channel. And of course, he was saying that they're all doing it. They're all doing it, but of course, they're all doing it to different levels. Was probably the case there. So and of course, who always wins? The biggest one, the one with the biggest balance sheet, and who's that? Binance and CZ, of course. All right, so let's jump over to El Capo of crypto, one of my favorite traders. He's talking about the hammer coming. It hasn't quite happened this week. Could have reasonably happened this week, but maybe it's next week, and we will see. 14 hours ago, he said, good morning, BTC to 12,000, 14,000 is a matter of time. Altcoins much lower, 40 to 50% drop on average. I think this is still very much in the play. Just stay tuned for that. Be very extra cautious at the moment in the month of November. Really, it could happen at any time. So 5 hours ago, he says no one escapes the hammer day. And of course, we've seen that previously in Bitcoin. Remember where it fell like $14,000 in a matter of days, $12,000 in a matter of days. And of course, that's possibly what we could reasonably expect at this stage. What's a lot to actually push it higher? Not a lot. So we've still got a big discount on the Grayscale trust as well. It's even bigger than ever. So just be very cautious at the moment with your fiat or with your capital as well. Once again, not investment advice. You must do your own investment due diligence. Just my opinions on this channel. All right, so cool. Let's jump over to Hex. We're going to get into that before we've got a few more people in the house. So we'll say hello to Ted. Hey, Ted, good to see you. Happy to see you, Ted. And of course, who else? Brian's in the house as well. Good to see you. What's up, folks? Community leads in our Discord. So pretty, very cool. All right, so here we are with Hex at the moment, 3.11 cents. A little drama around this out there, so you can find that out. Obviously, there's no drama channel I'm just alluding to it. But maybe that's definitely had an impact on the price from the looks of it in the last 2 days. We ended up yesterday. We were down to 3 cents yesterday. Today we've just how many minutes? We've got 15 minutes to go to the end of today's candle. So this is 11 hours and 45 minutes in this candle, and we've got the low at 3.03, and of course the current price at 3.11. Man, we're just skimming in the zone. Now I've called this the accumulation zone. Obviously not investment advice, just my opinion there. And here we are ticking along here at this moment. And of course, man, it wasn't too long ago we were up at 5 cents there, and we're back down again. Welcome to crypto, folks. Welcome to crypto. And of course, we've coming up to a few events. So let's have a look at these. We've got the Hex HSI auctions, been on for a while now. What's that? Basically a week, is it? 6 days. 6 days. And of course, we've got RH, the end of the bear market. Now, this is a could be, not a would be or a will be. This is a could be, subject to Fed pivots and government selling down BTC. I like to be fairly accurate about the statements being made. So that was the original time frame. Said could be at this time, and so it looks like we probably end up passing that. Although that is next week, so maybe that's a better call. Next week could be the time. So we'll see how we get on there. Now we're going to talk about PulseChain V3 towards the end of the live stream. Stay tuned for that. PCE inflation results. This is the big one for me. Obviously, we've got the Fed meeting, October meeting minutes too. But we've got PCE inflation data coming out. Remember, we've got the inflation number, or CPI, which is like a survey of a basket of goods. And then we've got this PCE inflation number around GDP. And this is much broader, comes very broad, and has a much broader, better definition of inflation. And this is really what the Fed looks at. So whether they're thinking about 2% inflation, they're really thinking about the PCE rate, which was in September 5.1. So we're going to see what happens to this. We expect it to come back because the headline numbers came back too, but it may not. And of course, we're at 5.1%. So obviously, the lower that would be, then the Fed should be on whole, given all the people that have to vote, be less hawkish. So that's what we're kind of hoping for, because obviously the higher interest rates, the more damage that will do to the real economy and the financial markets as well. So that's a pretty big date. That's on the 1st of December. And then, of course, we've got a Hex third birthday on the 2nd. Looking forward to that. Hope you guys are too. Man, that is so cool, isn't it? We are getting closer and closer. What's that? 13 days away. Day 1095. It's going to be so much fun. And of course, we'll be in our 4th year after that. That's kind of really cool. A cool branding, marketing tool as well. Not just a great time in terms of the 3rd birthday, but entering our 4th year. It's really great. So hey, Hex is mature. It's been around. It's in its 4th year now. It's a pretty good thing when you substantiate your investment vehicle. So pretty cool. Then on the 14th, we got the Fed rate hike there as well. So the two orange there are the two big deals to come up. And of course, we're in terms of the Hex ecosystem, we've got the Hex third birthday and the Hex HSI still running, which is going to run all the way pretty much through to some pretty good auctions all the way through to Christmas as well. So that's pretty cool. Now, PulseChain launched TestNet V3. We've got some hopium around this. We're going to talk more about that later on towards the end of the live stream. We'll come back to that one. Let's have a look at the Hex whale bot. 23 hours ago, we had 12.6 million in staked. And of course, we had that's just a small one there. Something wrong with the bot here. It's always coming with this undefined days now. But these look like they're pretty much 1 monthly stakes there, no penalties. What else there? We've got 68 million Hex just in stake for 13 days. Another short staker there. 250 Hex in there. So that's 1,049 days, really. That's pretty cool. They got a little penalty, so they're early in stake there. So, that's just the way it goes. We get paid, right, 50% of them. What else there? That's it. That's it pretty much at the moment. Obviously, there'll be an update after the turn of the hour. We're 10 minutes away from the end of the day. So we'll get back to that. So that's the Hex whale, but nothing much there except the bit of drama, perhaps. All right, so we've got to look at Hedron. Obviously, with the Hex HSI auctions on and the massive Hedron burning. And of course, all those HSIs up for grabs, HSI recycling to the Icosa contract, more inflation, more Icosa inflation, more Hedron burning, more Hedron rewards. I mean, it's a pretty fun little ecosystem, isn't it? The good old Hedron. At the moment, of course, we've got the low of the day at 2,500 and the high of the day, 2,800. We're currently at 2,700. So that's right in the middle there at the moment. And just ticking along. Now, obviously, there was a big amount of T-shares up for grabs, and we're going to have a look at the auctions at the moment. So cool. We've got 5,694 auctions coming up for Hex HSIs. So still tons of them. And of course, based on these numbers here. And of course, at the moment, we've got how many? We've got, scrolling right down to the bottom, we've got 139 currently in the auction house up for grabs. And of course, you can see a lot of the countdowns counting away. Let me get down to the orange ones. These are the ones that are closing soon. So 1 minute's time, we've got this one closing. I'm just going to look some of the bigger ones. We've got some T-shares in there. Just having a look for whether we can find any of these big ones around 480,000. That's fairly decent. That's got 62 T-shares, no bonus for Hedron, but it's got 1 hour 56. It's got 4 billion on that at the moment. So that actually might be quite an interesting looking one there. What else we got going? 136,000. That's got 1.4 billion on it. 18 T-shares. Now I haven't looked at the time frame. 97,000. What else is going on here? That's looks pretty big. 93,000. 98,000, 50,000 there. Just trying to see whether they got some crazy stuff on some of these bids. You have to really go through all the bids. 152,000 Hex there. It's got 165 million bid on that so far. 20 T-shares, 6 hours to go. What else there? Yes, that's pretty much on that page. Let's go to page 2. Page 2 and have a look through what we've got here. 50,000, lots of 40,000, 77,000. So there must be some bargains in here, I'm sure. Just got to hunt them down and follow them through to the end of the auctions. 509,000 there, so it's got 65 T-shares. It's got 366 million Hedron bid on it so far. 465,000, got 334 million Hex bid on this so far with 60 T-shares. 450,000, 58 T-shares, got 248 million bid on that so far. That's actually looks like the best one so far. Still 17 hours to go, so you got to watch it for a while. It's pretty much 431,000, 453. So there's quite a few decent sized ones in here as well. So those are up for grabs. So that is pretty much it. Let's jump over to Hex Model, which is by Dev Huey. And we're having a look at the Hedron daily stats. We'll see what this has got. We've got more Hedron burning here. Look at this burn, baby, burn. So the Hedron supply is going down. So yesterday we had 225 million based on this, 225 billion, sorry, based on this data, which is another nice daily burn there. Pretty decent, actually. Day before it says 90 billion, and then the day before that it says 370 billion. And of course, our first big day there, 1.6 billion there. So pretty nice burn. Loans, seems like there's lending going out there as well. And obviously, the interest has been pretty good lately as well for the daily interest for Hedron. So 6 trillion burnt, it says here. So it's pretty good. And 517 billion loaned. That is some of the highlights there. Let's jump over to what's the NFTs. Obviously, a lot of people with Watts are looking forward to these being people claiming because it's the last man standing, right? So it's kind of cool like that. When with this, what do we got here? $857, I guess is dollars versus 100 NFTs. So 85% recovered of the original investment. The people aren't too far away from free carry. Maybe in the next week or so, maybe might get there 2 weeks. Just depends on each day. We've got quite a lot of good Hex HSIs coming through, as you saw, 5,000 or so. So it might be quicker sooner than later. So that's performing pretty well. But a lot of people are very happy, smiling and dancing, which makes me sick. Stop doing it. I'm just kidding. That's pretty neat. So we got 47 yesterday. We got 20 the day before, 74 the day before that, and then 316, that big giant one before that. So that's pretty nice, right? And then, of course, there's been lots of incremental stuff and since that time. So it's pretty cool. This is the Icosa day. Icosa yield looking very, very good. So these are the big amounts here. So it looks like $1 million yesterday in the Icosa pool rewards. That first day, the 13th, 6.7 million, which is pretty amazing. So far, 16.5 million Icosa yield pool. Pretty juicy, right? This is the main inflation event. It's going to get incrementally smaller, even with the recycling of Hex HSIs. We think that's probably going to be at least a third in 90 days' time, the size of that 24,000 T-shares, maybe 6,000, something like that. Is that a third? No, 20. That's a 25%, isn't it? Yeah, 25%. All right, so cool. Let's go to Icosa. Have a look at that. Woohoo! So all these are all built on top of Hex, folks. These are the second layer projects, and they're very, very cool. Made the bear market very exciting. Added a lot of value to Hex, getting a lot of Hex off the market with the Hex HSI buybacks. just on the Hedron and Icosa platform alone. So it's very bullish, reducing that circulating supply. We got Hedron 502 billion, 14.4 million in Icosa yield. So if you're staking Icosa, you earn Icosa and Hedron. So people are enjoying that as well. So looking some really good numbers here. What do we have here? 15.7 billion in Hedron. What else here? We've had 948,000 Icosa for the Icosa stakers. So very, very cool. Let's have a quick look at the HSI buybacks to sum that up. And let's see how we go. Let's see how we get on here. Yeah, so this was all the stuff that we've been having going on at the moment. So I think we're currently in this zone. So about 1,100 T-shares, 1,500 T-shares for the 20th, 1,100 T-shares for the 19th are up for grabs. So plenty of, and there's lots of smaller ones too, I imagine. So that's the other side of it too. So a lot of the big ones are, in that first day or two, we had about 90 of those that are over 1 million. So remember the Poly was bidding on all of them. One at least 5 or 6, I think, and of course, unfortunately, they're all locked away and will just die eventually, except for the Hedron, which can be harvested, which is pretty nice. So that's kind of cool. I think that's all we're going to say. Is that what we're going to say? I think so. Yeah, I think that's all we're going to say about that. All right. Hey, what's this one here? Oh yeah, that's a starting number. So that's cool. All right, so let's move away from that. That is pretty much going on there. So a quick look at Dev Huey. Always gives us a little bit of alpha, and a big shout out to him. 7 watts of NFTs 22 hours ago were burned in the last 24 hours. So that's another 20,000 endpoints removed from the pool. Supply is now 21,972. So that's kind of cool. It's going down, down, down. The last man standing, remember? The more, it's going to be quite fun to watch that. This hasn't decreased as much as I thought it would so far, has it? I thought we'd get a lot more. Still a little bit more time. Maybe after 2-3 weeks, maybe people will say, oh, I've accumulated a lot. I've Icosa and I'm going to burn. We'll see. But maybe people, clued up and say, well, if I go out, then, everyone else is going to get a lot more. So far, we have not had the big burning that I suspected we might have straight off the bat. And I did expect it to run for weeks and weeks and weeks. But so far, it's definitely lower than my expectations. So there we are. 14 hours ago, 14.6 billion Hedron minted. 0.25 in Hedron, and I'm not sure what the N is, but 55 billion Hedron burned so far today. That was 14 hours ago. And of course, we've just read through all those latest numbers there. So that's pretty much it from Dev Huey. Let's jump out of there. We're going to get into the airdrops now. But before we do that, let's get into the comments and see who else has arrived since we've been covering these cool charts. I think we got up to Christian Collins in house. What's up, crypto family? Good to see you. It's a could be, yeah. It's a could be. That's right. I bet it's crypto. He's smart laughing at that one. I think it's a big important to say it will be something and it could be something. It's just, I think it's important to highlight that. Vets and Crypto says come to San Diego December 2nd meetup. Visit KSB TV, says Vets and Crypto, for the Hex 3rd birthday there. Scotty is in the house. We could all use even just a teeny tiny bit of hopium, says Scotty. I think so. It's always good to have a little bit of opium, just a little bit, even if you face reality for what it is, but having a little opium is always good. 10 minutes away from the end of the ETC day, bang, bang, more Hex in our wallets. That's passive income, yes. So Hex is all about T-shares. If you haven't checked it out, hex.com is in the video description. Make sure you do your investment due diligence. But you get those T-shares, you get Hex every day, and we're going to talk about that later on in the live stream when we get the final day results. What else there? Let's jump over to some house. We got Nate Dogs in house. Yeah, boy. Good to see Nate Dog. Sandy Beach has arrived as well. One of our awesome community members and moderators. Sandy Beach with the Sandy Beach. Hello, Hex Token, everybody. Always a pleasure, Sandy Beach. I still don't have those fancy emojis. I tried to find them on my YouTube. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what you're talking about, Sandy, still. You're going to have to send me some snapshots so I can understand what's going on there. Check My Pulse says, evening all. Good to see Check My Pulse. And Hamiel L. Jackson's in the house as well. Woohoo! Hey, good to see you, Hamiel. We've got Jenna in the house as well. Good morning, all. Beautiful day here. And that's cool. I think it's fairly nice outside. I'm going to definitely go for a walk after this as well. I like the smell of hopium, says Check My Pulse. Me too. All right, so cool. Let's see where we're at. We're at 2 at the moment. So we've got all the airdrops. You want to find these? They're in our Discord. The link's in the video description. You can jump to Discord. And, of course, where are we going here? We're going over to Discord here. We're going to go down to PulseChain projects and down to airdrops, free claims, and you'll be able to see all the different projects here Not all of them are open yet. I think the last one, PulseChain's on testnet there. You also have to do, check with Pulse Police first before interacting with them. Other than that, everything else is on. Kira's not coming up until PulseChain, but all the rest of them are open at the moment to some degree or another, depending on the qualifying criteria. So let's get into that. We've had a good day in the office of Pulse Dogecoin, actually, to be honest. This is looking quite good now. It's starting to get a bit of momentum. It'd be nice to get a nice breakout of, say, $6.25. Breakout past there, pretty good. Got a challenge, get up to that $7 mark up here. That's kind of where it is. Let's get rid of the that. We're going to have a look. We've got two things going on at the moment. We've got the transforming of PLSD into asset tokens to mine Pulse Bitcoin. And we've got the asset token miner to mine asset tokens, which I think might end up being the very attractive. Very attractive. We're going to see how that plays out, but it seems to me to have the best play at this stage. And of course, so we're just about there. We're just about to have Pulse Bitcoin come into the market as well for the first time after 30 days. So that's the big event. So we've got two things happening: the ATM miner disappearing, and of course the impact on asset tokens, and of course and PLSD. And of course, we've got probably more importantly the Pulse Bitcoin as well. Once we get to the end of the 60-day phase, 20th of December or so, then of course no more getting asset tokens from what I can see, because the asset miner, except unless you've got the ATM miners, they're the only ones that will be able to store earning asset. But in terms of Pulse Dodge transform, they'll be the end, and so we could see impact on asset miners and Pulse Bitcoin there as well. So a couple of events coming up here. And let's have a look at some of the updates from Pulse Bitcoin. This was on the 24th. The reason more 24th August. I don't know why I've got that so far back there. Let me just jump through here. We got you have less than 48 hours to create an asset token miner. And remember, ATMs are designed to preserve mining power over time by increasing and payout after each halvening. And of course, the timer is there. We're going to go check that out now. 4 hours ago. I hope you're paying attention. We're paying attention. We've been covering it. Hey, millennials and Gen Z, do you feel like you've missed out on the early days of Bitcoin? Here's your second chance, Pulse Bitcoin. I think that's pretty much it. So just a couple of little marketing plugs there. Let's get into it, though. Have a look at PLSD, transforming it into asset tokens. There are 2,982,489 Pulse Dogecoin have now been transformed into the asset tokens. You get 5 asset tokens for every Pulse Dogecoin. And, of course, these Dogecoin are burned off the market. There are now 14,656,000 asset tokens in supply from these transforms. And of course, the total PLSD burned so far 48.936%, heading towards 50%, which would mean half of Pulse Dogecoin are burned. That's going to be interesting take there on the meme coin after that limited supply. We'll see how it goes versus Pulse Bitcoin and asset miners. So we're on day 29 of 60. And of course, people take that asset token and they mine it to mine Pulse Bitcoin. And at the moment, of course, we are ticking away 7,224 miners at the moment, 40 million asset power. And of course, more importantly, the halvening zero minting progress. Remember, this is basically a virtual mimic of Bitcoin itself. And of course, there's only ever going to be 21 million Pulse Bitcoin. At the moment, 1,082,000 Pulse Bitcoin have been mined. Not yet minted, of course. People can't get them until the end of 30 days, which is not too far away. I think it's just over a day away. And of course, we've got 10.5 million Pulse Bitcoin before the first halvening as well. So there's a bit of rush to get hold of these tokens, as it were. Day 29, and of course, day 30 will be the final day, and then I guess they're going to come to market. So you'll see Pulse Bitcoin on the market somewhere, and that's going to be fun to see that. Let's go over to the asset token as well and see how these NFTs do. 1 day and 17 hours to go and 20 minutes until the end of the ATM convention. And we have had some dramatic impact on this the last couple of days. We're now down up to 3,053 ATMs. 1,000 is the average points. Man, it's jumped again, folks. Oh my gosh, ATM points gone up to $3.2 million. So we've had the big whales come in the last couple of days, and we've jumped again. What were we at? 2.5 million yesterday, which is dollars and points. It was $1 a point. And so it looks like we've jumped like 600,000, 700,000 or something. That's pretty dramatic. And of course, we're on day 29 of 30. So counting down, 1 day and 17 hours to go. And of course, this is how you preserve your mining power. Now, every halvening that happens, so the next halvening is miles away, right? Because we're only 10% through the Pulse Bitcoin, is the asset that you get also goes down as well. So that's very important. And the other side of asset token, of course, is that if you're mining Pulse Bitcoin, you lose 0.25% every 30 days as well. So that's deflationary as well. So it seems to me asset mining and token itself might be quite an interesting play. and perhaps even more important, Pulse Bitcoin. I don't know. Let me guys know what you think in the chat there. That's kind of where we are on Pulse Bitcoin. So that's the next big sort of thing in our that we've been following in our PulseChain related tokens. So cool. Let's jump over to the next one. Of course, we're going to get into Zen and stuff like that. So Zen at the moment is at 50832. And of course, you can mint this. I think it's on, is it 9 chains or 10 chains, something like that at the moment. So we're just following the ETH chain, which is the most valuable chain if you think about it. Although some of the other chains have had much better adoption, like Polygon, but in any case, Paul Pleb USDC is at 5 zeros as well, 3111, and it looks like it's just been pumped. Who pumped this thing? Who pumped it? Put your hand up. Who pumped this thing? Because this thing had been going down. It launched at the worst time, unfortunately, but it looks like it's been pumped today. And of course, it's mini pump. We'll call it mini pump. 5 zeros to 7,000 was the low. 5 zeros, 3,100 is the high. So 2,700 to 3,100. It did bottom out here at 2,335. So it's up a little bit from there. But this is really low volume, no doubt. I haven't even looked at liquidity, but I bet it's low. So it's up 35% in that about a day. But I think it's pretty low liquidity. I haven't actually checked. So just always make sure, even though I'm talking about the prices, make sure you check the liquidity and the particular pair. These are airdrops and they're typically small. All right, let's jump to the weight token. Most people were waiting for the weight token. We had a pump 2 days ago. That's back down now, down to just over 0.2 of a penny. And so, yeah, short-lived there, still in some sort of range here at the moment. Most people are waiting. Some people haven't, though. Some people sold up here. Some people sold up at the top here on the pump. They bought the rumor and sold the news of the Coast fiat on-ramp, off-ramp, and stablecoin, which is coming to PulseChain, hopefully, if they have managed to do all the legal work and all that. Now, we were expecting an update from them around about now, so I haven't actually checked that on Coast. That we're going to give it. They're going to say that they had a lot of the, I think a lot of the paperwork done by October, November. I'll double check that and so forth. So cool. Let's jump over to where we're going to. We're going to Maximus team. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's go to Maximus. This is changing topic a little bit here, but yeah, new poly data. This is really part of the Hedron story, so I should have probably talked about it then. So I apologize for that. Sort of mix this around. So around the Hedron there, Poly Maximus. New poly data dashboard for Poly Maximus. Go see your balance, the yield, and poly treasury details. That was 18 hours ago from Dipcatcher, who had been diligently working on that on his online stream. Once the remaining Hedron gets staked on December the 14th and pulling in that Icosa yield, I don't expect this discount percentage to last very long. So talking about that Polygon there. So that take that into account, actually. Remember all that big Hedron, was it 1.7 trillion, is going to be staked. It was 30 days afterwards. So 14th of December, keep a track on that if you might be able to capture some value there. And once again, do your own investment due diligence. The Gladiators have earned 82 million Hex in the Maximus stake pool. This is the very first product of Maximus, of course. And of course, then after that, they launched the Perpetuals and the DAO token, the Team DAO token. So very cool. Those are the 5 pools they're running at the moment. Very, very cool. But the Hex Maximus, man, like a boss, really is crazy. Like with the Hex Gold Whale, Maximus stakers will be the big whales at the end of 14, 15 years time. 15 years time there, so it's pretty cool. Poly dashboard update again. It's pretty awesome. New dashboard for the Perpetuals coming soon as well. So that's coming down the pipeline. That'll be cool. 1 hour ago, if you didn't hear this, staking through Icosa no longer has stake size bonuses. Poly staking Hedron for 15 years and locking in a share rate just became a huge pumpamental. So that was an important part there. So cool. I think that's pretty much it from them, is it? I think so. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it from the Maximus team. So let's have a quick look at the dashboard. They've got the treasury value here. I'm not sure if there's got anything on this. No, I don't think there's anything on these pages. That's all expired. All that stuff's expired. I think I've lost the dashboard now. I've lost the dashboard, man. I just lost the dashboard. What? I think there's a little bit of work to do on that, to be honest, because I just lost the dashboard. How about that? They might want to rethink that. Something that shouldn't have happened. All right, so cool. Let's have a quick look here. Hopefully it's going to pull up the dashboard here again. All right, so we got, maybe school didn't have the wallet connected, who knows. Treasury value there, $5.2 million. Hedron value, $5 million. Icosa value, $43,000. Poly supply, 1.7 trillion. Total Hedron, 1.9 trillion. Total Icosa, 48,000. The first 139 billion of the Hedron stake started on November the 12th, Remaining 1.76 trillion Hedron will be staked on December the 14th. And there is the poly market price at 50209. Backing value 50299. So there's a discount there. And of course, 30% discount. Yes, there we are. So there we are. A bit of opportunity potentially. There you have to check that out. And it's got the date as well, which is pretty cool. And the Icosa yield. The Icosa yield there is, so it's pretty cool on that one. Nice. All right. So that is pretty much it on there. Stay tuned. Stay tuned as it were. So keep up the good work there, Maximus team, and all you gladiators out there. Hoorah, hoorah for the gladiators. We're going to jump over to the BNB pot and, of course, have a look at the price. This one's been doing fairly well in this range now. And, of course, we're expecting the... Actually, I should go and check that out. I haven't even checked it out, to be honest. Let's go quickly check it out. Looking at the staking on BNBP. So let's have a look here. Have we got the Powerball yet? Not yet. So it should be imminent. That Powerball, the second game being launched. Currently 2,600 in the airdrop. Lottery is 30.5. They just paid a lottery out the other day. Someone won it, lucky people. And then the burn there is at 122. So continuing to burn the total supply down from 1 million tokens. So that's pretty cool. What's the price at the moment? $12.96. Looking pretty good. This is a pretty good chart at the moment. And of course, bounced off that $7.24 all the way up here. And remember, this is the first sacrifice project that's actually launched. And it's been, I think, pretty, for the most part, pretty spectacular. And it's got a long road to go, right? This big events. The only thing holding it back is the participation wallet in the future. That's currently a positive at the moment because it's obviously an incentive. But then, of course, once it gets paid out, eventually when the final one's won, it will, I think it's just over 50%. Just over 50% has been paid out so far. So still a while to go. But that will be the one hurdle. Everything else is pretty positive from what I can see. People obviously staking, people have to restake. The more games come on, increases the revenue potentially, the volume. So it should get bigger and bigger. Yeah, that's kind of those sort of playouts there. Right, so cool. Currently very nice and $12.96. So we'll see how that goes after the next game comes out. Hopefully tomorrow or something like that. That'd be cool. Right, so that is kind of the highlights there in the charts. We're going to get into Hex Day stats. The days just rolled over from 30 minutes ago. So we're now in day 1083. So we're going to wait for day 1082 to come out, and we'll talk about the results for that. In the meantime, we're going to get into quickly talking about the PulseChain TestNet V3. So we're going to quickly talk about that first. Before we do that, let's get into the chat again and see who else has dropped in to say hello this Friday or Saturday, depending where you are in the world. We got up to Jenna, and that's for sure. We got Shano in the house. Yo, good to see you, Shano. We've got Toxic Hedgehog as well, behaving himself. Very nice to see. What's the price prediction on Pulse Bitcoin? I have no idea. Check my Pulse. I don't think anyone does, do they? I know Pepe said $20. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see what it is. There's competing. The ASIC token might also do well as well. So thanks, Brian. I'm on Chrome. I did get the update. I'll try them. Okay, cool. Trying to help out with those emojis. Nice. All right, so cool. At the moment, of course, we've had these updates a week ago on the testnet. Now, this is obviously the BSC version and version 2B, which we've been playing around for a long, long time. And, of course, in fact, I've actually got them on the charts, right? I've actually got them on charts. I should pull those up again, bring up the old timeline charts. I might do that. And we had all these updates, which are kind of peculiar on each of these pages. But, of course, we're waiting for the main thing to happen, which is the V3 with the ETH proof of stake. So that'll be a fundamental. I think there'll be a pretty massive fundamental for Hex as well. But we're still waiting at the moment. We've still got 2B in here on the public side. Remember, on the private side, the devs have their own folders using GitLab. They'll have their own stuff all hidden away. And so we don't get to see that. This is the public side at the moment. So that's kind of where we are at the moment. So what's going to say about that? We're going to quickly play a video. This is the last video that we had sort of teasing about this. And it was interesting that Richard Hart mentioned it. So we're going to quickly play this. Hopefully I've got the right little video. I'll make sure I get the right one. I didn't actually queue this up, which is not good. Not good as a YouTuber. Not to pre-queue. You got to pre-queue. Pre-queue. That's the lessons that we learn. I think this is the one here. So let's listen to this. Bam.
Well, thank you. Thank you for answering my question.
My pleasure. So as soon as all you guys want to ask one PulseChain, I don't know, dude. As soon as it's ready, they're working on it. There's been a lot of movement in the GitLab. So
Yeah, the GitLab stuff excites me.
Yep.
But I was
when you
just
see
gonna talk
V3
about-
TestNet come out, you can be more excited.
So that's pretty much it, man. That's pretty much it. So we'll just keep waiting. And yeah, is this teasing. Now, I'm not sure why it would take so long. You know, the BSC obviously had a lot of troubles with it. But you know, I guess they've got to get their head around the proof of stake, but they have got a lot of knowledge now, obviously, looking at the BSC version and stuff and testnets and all that since last year. So yeah, I mean, they've got to incorporate the 0.25 fee, but the rest of them parameters like the S-load function, they can just change. So they're going to have infrastructure while they've been working on infrastructure, no doubt, for a long time with the existing technology. So I'm sure that might take, how long does it take? A couple of months, we'll see. Yeah. In any case, regardless of the technical time of the testnet, they'd be pretty bullish. Is really timing the market for the actual mainnet. So I don't think testnet's that much of a deal with the time of the market. We just get it out there and play around. But mainnet needs to be timed at the right time of the market. I think that we can all agree on that. That will give us our best chance of pumpamentals, which we're all excited about. So that's kind of where we are at the moment on that. In the meantime, we're still earning Hex every day. And of course, everybody that gets Hex will get a copy on the PulseChain, as well as everything else they got on Ethereum. They'll get copied over too. And so we're excited about that. In the meantime, also not only timing the market, getting the testnet up and going to the mainnet, is that we'll also have people can accumulate dry powder for PulseChain in the meantime. So from the demand side, more people can hear about it in the meantime. And of course, probably most importantly, is that a lot of the top utilities that we have, like Power City, Liquid Lines, Fiat, and other ones like that, they can get themselves ready. They can finish all of those product developments. Some of them, like Power City, have like 6-7 projects, and they can get a lot of those over the line. So we're going to have a very fulsome ecosystem. So that's very important. The other thing, of course, is the fiat on-ramps, off-ramps, and stablecoins, fundamental to value creation. So we're looking forward to that as well. So in the meantime, Hex is still ticking over, coming up to its 4th year, which is pretty exciting. Currently at 3.1 cents on the market, and yeah, copy it for PulseChain. Still, those things are still playing out. So we're excited about that. So Hex is a mutable code on the blockchain. You mint your own rewards. That's the cool thing about it as well. It is DeFi. There's no middleman. You own your keys to your coins. You mint your own rewards. Is a beautiful place to be. And coming up to 4 years is pretty exciting. Something like 113,000 stakers, and of course, over 500,000 holders, as well as over 312,000 something currently liquid holders on Etherscan as well. So still early days for Hex. We're certainly getting excited for the highest of stakes coming out, expected in Q1 23, probably most likely somewhere in there. They've still got, obviously, distribution always takes longer. So distribution is where they're marketing it to the big streamers like Netflix and Disney and Hulu and all the rest of them. That always takes longer often than people know. So in any case, so very cool. All right, so we're going to wait for day 1082. It's going to come hot off the press soon. And meanwhile, let's talk about crypto, where it's at. BTC 16,673, down 1%. The hammer is not quite hit yet. 1,200 on ETH there at the moment. That's kind of where we are. Stable coins looking better today in terms of their health. We're going to jump over to Hex at the moment. Hex is at 3.1 cents. And of course, Hedron there is just having a nice little move higher there at the moment, 2,744. It's got new candles today, so there's a new candle now, and also this should be a new candle too. So we've got new candles on my chart, which are 20 minutes into the day. So just starting there. We're heading into the weekend as well. Crypto is 24/7, of course, so we keep humming along, not like the stock market where it closes down for the weekend. We just keep humming along, which is pretty cool. All right, that's pretty much it. If you haven't joined our Discord, by the way, our Discord link is in the video description. Make sure you join. If you haven't joined this channel as well, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell for future videos. Also, hit the community tab. You'll see my new channel, the Bird is Freed, which is around Twitter, news, Elon Musk, and all that good stuff. And of course, the good fight for freedom against the globalists, which are definitely going for full victory. They are trying to go for full victory. And it means we lose our rights and we become pretty much slaves to the slave masters, and they just get to laugh, right? They get to laugh at us, and well, they live the rich life and enjoy the freedoms apparently we weren't supposed to have. So there we are. think about that one. Anyway, get into our chat. It's pretty cool. We've got the general chat for Richard Hart tokens. We've also got the PulseChain project tokens as well, including the airdrops. So get into there as well. Now, I was going to say the last day is the 19th of November to get the Texan token sacrifice. The airdrop for that if you've done PulseChain Sacrifice or PulseX. Also, if you've done the if you've got Hex stakes at the 4th of July, you'll also be able to qualify for those on different wallets as well. So if you have multiple wallets, you'll be able to qualify for that. So that's closing out there as well. Now, Texan token will be moving to a new Discord. So this is kind of a beachhead for them as they had the sacrifice on and the airdrop. So definitely get into that as well. So very great. Been great having Texan token in the Discord. We'll be pivoting into workshops and AMAs. That will be the big direction that we're heading to, as well as other things that are going to add value to the community. Because ultimately, it's all about the community. We want to be a safe place, a good place to learning, and of course, a good community. And so if you like that, get in there, folks. It's going to be a lot of fun. We've got great community leaders, Brian, of course, who always helps so much. Fat Sammy as well. James Bond, KD, Wookie, of course, Sandy Beach, and I'm missing somebody there as well as someone else. As I'm Links or somebody like that. Just forgot off the top of my head there. So yeah, definitely get in there. Very, very cool. Now, obviously, we've still got the syndications with the YouTubers. So we've got Craig, Heinz Crypto, Rex, Richard's Crypto Heartbeat in there at the moment. And there's been a couple other names pushed forward as well. So we're just getting started, folks. We just had over 1,000 members. And, it's a long time. We're in a bear market. So we're just going to keep building and helping people there as well. Be one of those safe havens amongst the Wild West, as it were. So definitely get in the links in the video description. All right, so cool. That's where we are. Let's wait for the Hex daily. We're waiting for the daily stats of day 1082 to come off the press. We get into the chat and see who else has arrived. Got a couple more comments in here. Get up to there. Brennan says, "Hey all, if you staked for PLSB on the first day, is today the first in stake day? I'm not near my computer. Not quite. It's not quite there yet, Brennan. Still a day to go, at least. Here's the Discord there, says Brian. Nice one. And Katie says, Texan token. Thanks, Superman. Hey, you're welcome, Katie. Definitely do that. Now, if you want to get hold of the Texan token, of course, airdrops to claim it, you're basically going to be doing signing from your wallet. So you won't actually get that until they launch on PulseChain. At the moment, they're looking at PulseChain. Some projects are having to pivot, of course, onto some projects are actually having to pivot onto other chains, to get going because PulseChain's taking longer and so forth. So that's just the way it is. That's life. So yeah, here's the free claim here. You can check your eligibility here. And if you have any further questions, you can get into Texan Token in the Texan Token chat here. And if you have any questions, KD is running this sub group here in the Hex Token Discord. So you can hit them up. That's got about 1 day and a half to go, maybe 1 day, something like that. So definitely get onto that if you haven't. Once again, do your investment due diligence. Nothing on this channel is investment advice, as we say. All right, cool. Who else in that? Cheers, says Brennan. Hey, you're welcome. Christine's in the house. Hey, Christine. Superman. Woo! Hope life's treating you great. Blessings, excellence. Hey, it is indeed. Thanks, Christine. Appreciate that. And always great to see you in the chat there as well. All right, cool. I think we're still waiting for day 1082. How long should we wait? Should we wait a while? Now, I don't think, let's have a quickly look at Richard Hart, see whether he's been doing things. He's been doing, obviously, stuff around the FTX and things like that. So we'll have a little look through some of the stuff he's been doing. It's back on the 18th. So he's just been calling out FTX, Celsius, BlockFi, which he's been talking about that for a long time, right? Basically, CeFi and centralized exchanges have always been the issue, and of course, margin trading as well as them playing with their balance sheet. And that's all played out. So all that stuff's played out. Nothing to see here, folks, as they say. Richard says, so many CEOs trying to look cool by sleeping at the office these days. It just doesn't look as cool when you work from home, which I think is pretty funny. And you can always have a laugh from the Simpsons, can't you? What else there? What's this one here? Is effective altruism where you bought a double top with the client's funds so people could sell high again, says Richard on the FTX there. Hashtag Richard Hart was right. It's been trending as well. Get rich means get me, says Richard there. And then, of course, this one here was particularly funny. I don't know whether I should really laugh at this, but it was funny. This was what haters' tears looked like after wrecking people and talking bad about people who tried to save him. DM me if you want to purchase a sketch. So anyway, that was a sketch of him, unfortunately. So yeah, maybe that's an ethics question we should ask ourselves. Anyway, so there we are. We've also got CBDCs trending on Twitter. Man, these things are scary, folks. Credit scores, CBDCs, digital IDs, these things, and the way they're going to integrate them, they're enslavement, 100% enslavement. There's nothing good about them. It is a bad. And of course, the people fall for these things, unbelievable. Not in crypto because we're much more educated about these things, but people that are noobs, what they say, something like 96% of people still not in crypto. Their knowledge is pretty low. So they don't have any idea what programmable CBDCs will end up being. It is who can buy and who can sell. You can tell me whether that's any good. Let's say that I was in control and I was in control of your currencies, and you said something. You said something or did something I didn't like. Well, I can turn the tap off, can't I? And imagine that. Imagine that if you've got a family and suddenly the tap gets turned off because of something you said and something you believe in, something you want to stand for, and the establishment doesn't like it. So turn off the tap, as it were. They can change things around pretty fast. All right, so cool. Let's jump over to it. Still waiting for day 1082. Still not off there yet as well. So cool. We're just waiting patiently there. Don't know if it's going to come out. Sometimes it can take quite a while to come out in the data, but we're up to day 1083, heading up towards day 1095, Hex's 30-year birthday. And of course, we're 13 days away from that, so not too far as well. So cool. I wonder if Richard was going to say much about that on the old Twitter there. What else do we got? Joel says, has RH verified that V3 will be a public testnet? That's what we're expecting there, Joel. Yeah. CBDC says can't buy Diddy crap, says Brian. That's true. That is true. All right, so cool. I just played the video earlier there. Who was that asked that question? Joel. I just played the video of him saying it on video. So I don't know if you want me to play it again. I'll play it one more time. How about that? Very nice. All right, let's play this one more time. All right. Yeah. All right.
Well, thank you for answering my question.
My pleasure. So since all you guys want to ask Wen Pulsechain, I don't know, dude. As soon as it's ready, they're working on it. There's been a lot of movement in the GitLab. So
yeah, the GitLab stuff excites me.
Yeah.
But
when you see V3 TestNet coming out, you can be more excited.
All right, so that was it. There we are. There, when you see V3 TestNet come out, you'll be more excited, indeed. All right, cool. So that is that one. I think that's about it. We're waiting for day 1082. That's it. It's been, we had, what's the highlights today? We had a little bit of drama out there today, but Weather's an drama channel, so can't talk about that. We had, what else? We had the Poly dashboard come out, which is cool, from Dipcatcher. We like that. It's hardcore. We love stuff like that, so that's good. And Hex is holding up at the moment. Hex is holding up at 3.1 cents. So that's not too bad either. Will we get the bottom of the bear on the 21st? Or will it be? It could be, and it's a bit later. We'll see. We've still got more big things to come through: the PCE inflation and the Fed rate hike on the 14th. I do feel that if we can get past this with reasonable strength, then we might get a little Christmas rally. That's possible. So I'm kind of looking for that. That's kind of my hopium there. But hey, once we get through all this stuff, we've got a nice big gap there till February. Remember, the next rate hike is February, so we've got a nice little gap there over the rest of December, January, into the rest of the year. So let's hope for the best for that. Joel says, "Oh, great! Sorry, joined late. That's all good. That's all good." So yeah, we're waiting for that. All right, so day 1082, it's off the press. Yay, we did it. Yay. So that's cool. We've got the 18th of November, 3.1 cents, up 1%. We've finally got a price to increase there, 3.1 cents there. The Hex payout today, 6.2, another good day in the office. Yesterday was the 5th best day ever, a 10.8 Hex per T-share, spectacular. The T-share price there, $780, and a dot day, believe it or not, for the T-share rate. There wasn't a lot on the whale bot, was there? So I guess that's not a surprise. 25,110 is the T-share rate. And remember, if you don't understand Hex, this is really part of the secret sauce, one of the special features of Hex. Now, Hex has other special features. But its generic feature, as Richard always talks about, is that people buy and hold. That's typically the best thing for the price. That being said, of course, we still have a while we've smashed the circulating supply a lot. I'm thinking just off the top of my head, maybe something like 10 billion or so tokens or something out of the public. So excluding what we call the origin accounts, source accounts, we've still got a fair amount of circulating supply around. Now, only a certain amount of that tends to be active, but of course, there's still plenty around to to get us to places like 3.1 cents, for example, as well. So we also have emergency end stakes and circulating supply, liquid circulating supply. So it sort of it can weigh down. Now, obviously, that can be offset by demand at any particular point and momentum and things like that. Anyway, the average stake length is 6.7 years, so everyone's going to be around for a long period of time in this project. And the APY rate there, yield and emergency end stake penalties, 37.71% today. Obviously, yesterday was 65.66% paid out in Hex. Obviously, the price of Hex in US dollar terms can move around. Liquidity in the price there, 348 million Hex, so down from yesterday. We had a look at our peak out at 360. Let's have a look through the year. That was definitely peaked out in the last 10 days, 360 million, but down to 348 million, which is cool. Good to see, right? And the liquidity in the pool is at almost 9.9 million. I always like, as you guys know, I like to get this back over 10 million. It's kind of my cycle there. But of course, we're all looking forward to 20 million, 30 million, 40 million and beyond. That'd be very, very cool. And when Hex gets up to that stuff and sustains it, right? You got to sustain it as well. So looking forward to that. Now, liquidity in the pool, 1,545 ETH there. So that's how much is in the pool there as well. What else there? We're going to go to the T-shares. So I always say this every day, but if you're new to Hex, Hex is easy to understand. We have reward pool with inflation and penalties in it. And we have an ownership pool with T-shares, which stands for trillions of shares. And of course, that is the ownership pool. If the reward pool or the ownership pool goes down, up or down a little bit, then the payout of Hex per T-share changes every day. And of course, the main thing in Hex is to buy Hex and get as many T-shares as you can. When Hex, you stake your Hex gets burned and disappears. And in return, you get shares. And those the more shares you have, the more of the reward pool you get. Now, obviously, at the end of your staking period, when you end stake, you get your Hex back principal that got burned. You get that back, and you get the interest that you earned as well from the reward pool. So it all gets summed up there, which is pretty cool. At the moment, of course, the ownership pool has gone up 3,148 after going down 29,000 yesterday, which was pretty big. We're currently sitting exactly on 10,400,000. How about that? Not exactly, but almost 10,400,534. Okay, slightly off, but that's where we're sitting at the moment. All right, so cool. Let's jump over to the staking percentage. We've got 9.69% of Hex is staked at the moment, and we've got 619,000 Hex penalties today. Yesterday, look at that, man. Yesterday, almost 96 million in Hex penalties. Is that crazy? This is wonderful from inflation. So this is not only just a reward. 50% of the penalties go to the staker class, as if you got your T-share stake, but the 50% goes to the origin account and gets pretty much effectively, as long as the origin account never sells, then it's a deflationary mechanism. So it's very wonderful. Now, another deflationary mechanism is if the origin account stakes and doesn't sell that either, and therefore it gets part of the inflation as well, or rewards, and of course that's deflationary as well. So we might have effective inflation up to 3.69%. With nominal inflation up 3.69%, but effective inflation with that kind of mechanism, another special feature of the Hex there as well. So cool. So the existence of such agencies might be controversial, but the behavior itself is what people actually do, or what agency actually does, is what really starts to define it over time. And of course, as we head towards 3 years, its behavior has been, to protect the stake class so far, and of course, lower effective inflation, which has been pretty good. So those are some of my thoughts on it. Of course, you can have your own opinions on that one. We've got the change in holders there up to 137 to 313,547 is what you'll see on the Etherscan on the Hex contract there. We've got the stakers up 83 to 113,162. This is kind of a headline number because obviously Hex is all about getting T-shares. So this is really the big number here. We've had a couple of good days. Look at this, last 10 days been particularly good, especially the last 7 days have been nice little growth in the stake class there. At this current price of Hex around 3.1 cents, that's a good time to, for people to get large volumes. And of course, if you think it's the bottom of the market, we had a 95.6% pullback. We're currently a bit higher than that. So you think that that's, and we're probably what 93%, something like that, 92, then that's a good time. And you have to make that decision, of course. Nothing on this channel is investment advice. You must make your own due diligence and decisions. Yeah, it's going pretty well. We've had solid growth continuing there. Total holders up 325 to 310,521. And of course, we've got, I think we're going to have a lot of big things coming up that are going to boost the growth even further. We've got PulseChain coming up eventually. We've got the highest estates coming out Q1 next year. And of course, we've got a lot of other things playing around there as well. So looking forward to that. And probably the more second layer product developments as well from Maximus and things like that. So it's going to be a lot of fun. All right, so we're on day 1083, heading towards day 1095, Hex's third birthday into the fourth year. So we're only about 13 days away from that, so it's going to be a lot of fun. All right, so cool. How we are doing for time? Doing pretty well today. 1 hour and 6 minutes, so not too bad. Woody's in the house. Hi, Super. Good to see you, Woody. 10K, 510,000 holders. Woo! Yeah, it's pretty cool. The staking number is really the one that I watched, but yeah, it's good to see some of those. What do I call it? Symbolic numbers on the holders there. All right, so cool. What else? I think we're doing pretty well here. So yeah, definitely join our Discord. Links in the video description. And let's see who else has joined the last couple of days. I think I got up yesterday. So we had Warpy join today. Frank Carbo joined, and a Pulsechain. That's a pretty cool name. So welcome to all three of you. Very, very cool. You all get your own product project one. So we might give you a pulse pot there. What else we got here? We might give you a coast. Let's give you a coast on that one. So welcome everybody. All right, so cool. I hope you guys have enjoyed that. Let me know if you got any questions in the chat, because still got a few more minutes to go as well. Definitely smash the likes, says Woody. Definitely smash the likes. Yeah, if you got any questions, let me know in the chat. There, we've got a few minutes to go. So definitely getting that. In the meantime, we're going to play out, or we'll play this out at the end of the live stream. A cool little video to play. What else we got going on here? Jump through here. Yeah, I think I played that yesterday. Yeah, unfortunately, I played the highest of stakes video yesterday, and I got copyright on it. So that was unfortunate yesterday. I got to make sure I don't do that. This smashes the video. So anyway, lessons learned. Unfortunately, I learned it twice because I accidentally played it, and then I realized as I was playing, I forgot. No, great for that one. So cool. All right, so we've got Hex at the 3.12 cents at the moment. We've got Hedron. Oh, that was actually moving higher. Now it's at 2686, so obviously just moving around a little bit there. The cool thing about Hex, of course, is that you just get your Hex, stake it, and sit back and relax. Go off and do whatever else you're going to do and come back whenever your stakes come out. And that's pretty much it. So it's kind of relaxing. And that's what Richard likes, generally speaking, as well. So nice to see that. And we can all agree with those principles, right? We can always all agree with that. Spend time with family and friends, unless you're a YouTuber covering it every day. And that's the way it goes. You just cover it. All right, cool. Brennan says, have a good day. I'm landscaping my garden. Woohoo! Hey, Brennan, enjoy yourself and keep up the great work. So let us know if you got any pictures you want to share on that one in Discord under non-crypto. You can show us that. Superman Pump says, Woody. Yeah, a little bit of a baby Superman. Really incy-wincy tiny. Itty-bitty, as Richard would say. Pump there. All right, cool. Hey, I'm still planning to put out some polls on the community tab. So look forward to those. Still planning to do that. All right, nice. All right, we're coming up to an hour and 10 minutes. I'm probably going to finish a little bit earlier today. No questions in the chat there. So I hope you guys have had a good time. And I'll probably be doing some short form videos later on today. So stay tuned for all that. Hope you guys had a good time. Very nice time. And I will see you then. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, hit the bell, and get into a Discord and say hello. If you want to join as a member of this channel, of course, hit the join button. We've got PulseChain, Hexkins, and the Richard Hart Club, 3 memberships to join. Very, very cool. All right, take care, everybody. Bye for now. Let's play out some funky music on the way out. I think so. Let's do it. All right, let's go. Bam.
Here in my $3,000 Valentino Rockstud purse, my $3,000 Prada jacket, $2,000 Prada shirt, $2,000 or $3,000 Prada pants, Prada glasses, Prada hat, Prada bracelet, and it's all
Prada shirt, Prada hat, Prada glasses, Prada pants, and it's all nylon, so the haters' tears fall right off. Prada. haters' tears fall right off.
Lil Bubble, let me ride that rocket.